Steve Mignani here, doing the junkyard crawl at Berniston Auto Wrecking, but this is one of those special hubcap game editions. This is the 10th one. Yeah, 10 of these things. And we have the magic Chevy panel van here from the 60s. Let's open it up and look at this fabulous studio filled with glamorous prizes. Let's start. All right. Okay. Plymouth 1964 Sport Fury right here. It's a 14-inch wheel, no 15s on this era of Plymouth, but again, plastic and stainless construction. The plastic held in with a snap ring, and kind of cool how it has a three-dimensional feel and look to it, that reddish plastic, kind of the turbine motif, because again, Chrysler turbine cars were a big deal in the 63-45 era, and these hubcaps kind of play into that theme. All right, let's go. Oh, yeah. Again, Pontiac GTO or Tempest Le Mans right here, 1964. And if you owned a GTO, these were the next up from the bottle cap wheel covers right here, one piece, kind of a fake, spoke look with the blacked out stuff. Hey, good enough. These days, this would look really hokey, but back in 64, these were acceptable. Okay, this, I want to say American Motors. Probably Gremlin, first 1970 or 71 Gremlin right here. One piece, AMC, maybe also seen on Matadors. It kind of looks like a Chevy or a Ford, very generic, but American Motors was definitely playing follow the leader, and this is, I think, almost certainly a 70 Gremlin or Hornet Matador 14-inch wheel cover. Sold. All right, the Fratzog coming soon to a Dodge Charger electric car near you. There it is, coming back. This is a 1965 or 6 Dodge Monaco, I'm going to say. And if you look at it, it's a one piece with the center cap, made of metal screwed onto the back, but one piece stamping here. But something kind of cool about this is that if you look at the details, it's got a darker black out ring here that's mask at the factory that makes it look more like a multi-piece wheel, but it's a one-piece item with the center cap screwed on. Pretty cool. Oh boy. Okay, this might look like a Pep Boys item right here. You see right here, it says IT. I believe this might be an Itasca aftermarket wheel cover. Look at how it's almost translucent. You can see my fingers through this. The parent plastic is this weird yellow stuff right there, and the flash chrome is kind of going away, but it kind of looks like an Audi 5000 wheel from the early 1980s. Remember the Audi 5000 with the unintended acceleration? This kind of has the look of an Audi wheel, sort of, but it's a cheap plastic wheel. The fake lug nuts, I wonder how many mechanics put a wrench on that and snapped them off. Look at that, they're even molded in. They're not even like one piece. Weird. Now, that's a cheesy wheel cover. Okay, right here. Okay, 1961 Plymouth, full size. Belvedere Fury right here. It's a one-piecer. Kind of weird with the little circular wheel, little vents right there with the little strut in the middle. Now, there's a movie called Hot Rods to Hell where Dana Richards, I think, was the driver. Him and his wife and a teenage daughter are driving through the desert in their 61 Plymouth four-door, and some bunch of greasers in a 59 Corvette in primer terrorized them for the entire movie. Dana Andrews, that car had these wheel covers on it. It was a 61 Plymouth Fury or something. That's what this is. Okay, this one speaks for itself. Futura, Ford Falcon Futura, which would be this top-of-the-line model, 1963. It's a 13-inch wheel. Again, you got to remember the Falcon was born to be an economy car, and the bones of the Mustang, Ford Falcon. 4 lug nuts behind this right here when it was new, and all that grease tells us this is probably from the front of the car, where the inspection cap for the front wheel bearing was leaking and greasing it up. So, Ford Falcon Futura. All right, the Buick Tri-Shield right here. This is definitely from a Buick, probably Electra. I would say 1963 or 4, something like that. And again, it's been stomped. Something unfortunate happened to it, but it's pretty nice. It's aluminum or stainless. That's stainless of some kind with the little center cap snapped in there with tangs on it. And okay, this is kind of cool. This speaks for itself. Chrysler, about 1967 Chrysler Newport right here. 14-inch wheel, one piece, and again, probably off the front, the grease from the dust cap or the inspection cap right there. One piece, but again, 1967, maybe 68 as well. Chrysler Newport, full wheel cover. 13 inches, looks kind of like a Mercury Comet, 1962, 3, my guess, it's my guess. 13-inch, early 60s compact car, American. This is kind of cool right here, PMD. I love that sort of candy look right there, Pontiac Motor Division. 1968 GTO, Firebird, Le Mans. Again, a one-piece cover, but again, it's interesting, it's been pierced. Instead of blacking out these, they're actually pierced. That's kind of cool, gives it a look kind of an aluminum racing wheel with multi-spokes, but again, Pontiac Motor Division. This was the hubcap you'd find on a Firebird 350, or even a GTO, standard hubcap right here. Kind of cool. Okay, I always imagine like a 66 or 7 L79 Chevy 2, not a Nova, but a Chevy 2, a Chevy 2 two-door post with a 4-speed, 350 horse, 327. These are the kind of hubcaps you'd see like on a 66 Chevy 2, the basic Chevy 2 right here, and very clean. Look how shiny that is, my gosh. Might be new old stock, hard to say. And one thing to keep in mind is these wheel covers are in a pile right now. I assured the folks who own Bernstein Auto Wrecking I'd put these in the van by winter. We got a few more months, so fear not, these won't sit out here getting nasty over the winter. Okay, speaking of nasty, here's the Buick Tri-Shield again, but if you know your J cars or your X cars, you'll recognize this from like an early 80s Buick front wheel drive. I don't remember what they were, and I don't want to remember. These are the front wheel drive cars that shared their bones with the Pontiac, like the Pontiac 2000, J2000, I think maybe. But the Buick, I remember these things when I was a kid in the early 80s. And again, it's, stainless kind of a center with this iron-based steel trim ring, which is kind of starting to rot away, but it's a 13. These were born for front-wheel drive Buicks in the 1980s, kind of a dark time, if you ask me. Although people are starting to give them love. I get it, sort of. Oh, here we go. Cadillac, there it is right there, the crest 15 inches. This could be a 59 or an early 70s Eldorado. I want to say this is earlier than that. This is definitely an early, I would say it's late 50s, maybe a 1960, maybe 60 or 61. Cadillac 15-incher, the crest, the standard of excellence right there. Cadillac style. Another one of those Dana Andrews Plymouth wheel covers right here. Again, as seen in Hot Rods to Hell, the movie. If you get a chance, Google it, it's kind of cool. The hot rodder is raising heck in a primered 59 Corvette with no front bumper. Kind of cool, like an old gasser. I think the movie was made in 63 or something like that. So the gasser thing ahead of the curve. Okay, this is a little bit, there's no center caps. This is kind of a intuition on this one. I'm gonna say Buick. Buick? Hard to say. It's not Chevy, it's not Ford, it's not Chrysler, it's not Pontiac. I wanna say Buick on this thing, probably mid-60s, late 60s Buick. If you know better, well, you know how to comment. Another Dodge Coronet wheel cover from 66, thereabouts, with the Fratzog. And I love this, the three-dimensional look here, sort of that tunneled effect with the plastic. And on the back of that, it's all a bolt-on deal with 3 little screws, sheet metal screws. And again, this would have been seen, believe it or not, 66 Street Hemi Coronet 500 would have these wheel covers on a 14-inch rim. A lot of people think that 15-inch wheels were standard on Street Hemis. Not always. 66 Street Hemis came with 14s unless you paid extra for 15s. Yeah, more 80s stuff. This, again, is the Oldsmobile Rocket, which, of course, 1949, all about the V2 and memories of rockets and the future. And, of course, the old 1949 303. But the Oldsmobile hubcap, but again, this is from the front-wheel drive era, late 80s, early 90s. And it's a weird hubcap. It's plastic and metal and all, I don't know, to me, it reminds me of the bad days of front-wheel drive Oldsmobiles. So late 80s, early 90s, I think, something like that. So we'll do one more. And this is kind of cool right here. This right here, the Galaxy crest. Ford Galaxy, I want to say this is probably a 1964 Galaxy, Ford, of course, with this die-cast center to the outside of the stamped stainless hoop. And this kind of looks like a 57 Thunderbird wheel cover. And if you look at these vents, they're actually on an angle like a turbine compressor blade. Kind of cool, you know, like a step. So these kind of, going down the road, look unidirectional. But again, 1964 Galaxy 500 XL, I would say right here, or full-size Ford. So that's it for this installment, which is the 10th of the Hubcap game. If you like these, there's 9 more you can watch. Just go to the channel description here at the Steve Max YouTube channel, Junkyard Crawl, Hubcap game 1 through 10. Check them out, and we'll be back tomorrow with more Junkyard Crawl. Be sure to subscribe and ring the bell and give us the like. See you tomorrow.